we're going to focus on this area here, the table of content. And the table of content, or TOC, is where we have all our layers listed, and we can view it in different ways. So let's start by looking this top area here. Here you just select how you want to view your layers. So for example, here it said listed layers by drawing order. So here, which layers on top of each other gonna show up on here, and which group, and you can rearrange them by bringing it down, bring it to the top, and chose X here because this one is not gonna be visible because the base map is on top of it, and the base map have to be the last one on the bottom. So we should bring this on the top, anywhere on the top. It will be okay. So if you see this X anytime, that means that this map is not going to be visible, or this layer is not going to be visible. So let's put our routing back here. The second option here is to list by source, and that means if you remember our editing course, when we enable an editing session, it asks us, like right now, it let us know which data source we need to open for editing. That's the same thing here. It lists by showing the source. So here, for example, it shows that all the feature classes we have on the map is actually coming from this geodatabase that we created before, and all the shape files coming from this folder location. And the routing, or the network data set, is coming from this network data set, and this is a name for it, and that's an ID for it. And here you can show the layers by visibility. So it shows you which one is visible. If I came here and select this layers, it's going to show you that this is a layer that is selected, and it shows you that which layers you can select on the map by having this icon here enabled. So that means that I can only select the parcels because this is the one that enabled here. So for example, if I come here and I make a selection on all these features, it's going to only select the polygons. So this view here, it just lists the layers by which one is selectable and can be visible. So I want to enable like the streets and the parcels and the intersections. And when I do this right now, it's going to select all the features in front of me. The next is list by selection, and here it shows you the layers that you are selected. So for example, if I clear selection, you will see that all these layers have been 0. But when I select one polygon, it's going to tell me that you are selecting one polygon from the parcel layer. And if I select all of them, it's going to show me that I have 9 lines in the street, 4 points in the intersection, and 3 in the polygon. And I can unselect it from here, like that. So, and here is also like some other options that ask you for the selection. Do you want to show the selected features in the selected list? If I disable this one, I say OK. When I select this, it's not going to show the same way. It's just going to show how many features selected, but it's not going to show anything else like it did before. Like when I select this one, I say OK. You're going to see that now it shows me like which features exactly is selected. It's just an extra option for you based on what you need. So this is options here to just view the layers. We're going to go back to our main one. And actually, I'm going to remove the routing because we are not going to use it in this lesson. So I'm going to actually delete this entire thing. And also, I'm going to remove the shape files because I don't need it. I'm going to keep the base map and the feature classes. So here, the second thing, we want to look at the layer options. And the layer options is when you right-click on any place here, what's happening when you right-click on the base map, what is happening when you right-click on the feature class, or on the group layer, or on the like head group or the main group. So let's just start by right-click here and see what options we have. We have the add data that we used before. We can create a new group layer that we created to add layers inside of it. We can add new base map, similar to the one we have. We can copy a layer. Let's copy this one. And we can paste it under layers. And it's going to create a copy of the layer that we created. Let's remove it again. And here we can turn off all the layers. As you're going to see here right now, that all the layers have been disabled and the map is empty. If I right-click on it again and say turn on all layers on, I'm going to see them back. I'm gonna clear the selection. We have some selection here. Let's clear it. Let's go back again and see what else we have. We have expand or collapse all. Let's click collapse. I'm gonna collapse all the layers. Let's click expand. They're gonna expand all of them for me. And here we're gonna check the visible scale range. The visible scale means that you sit at the scale where this layer is gonna be visible. So right now, if I select minimum scale, this is the minimum scale that this layer is gonna be visible. If I zoom out a little bit more to a larger scale, the line's gonna disappear or the streets will disappear. If I zoom in, it's gonna show up again. I can do the opposite. Let me come here first and go to my this scale. I want to clear this scale and set maximum scale. And maximum scale is the opposite, where anything smaller scale is gonna disappear, but it's gonna show up on larger scale. And you can set the range where this layer is gonna be visible on certain scale. You can set a range between this scale and this scale, show it or hide it. You can choose these options however you want. And the reason to use this sometimes if you have a lot of data on your map, and it's really good to set the scale for when this layers is going to be visible, so the map doesn't look very busy and it just like show the right data when you zoom in and zoom out. So we're gonna clear the selection, the scale again, and see what else we have. So we also have zoom to layer, where if you are in a different scale and you want to zoom where your layer at, you right click and you click zoom. It's going to add your layer in front of you. When you click on any layer, you have the open attribute table where you can access your attribute. You can use join, and this is really a good thing to use sometimes. For example, if I want to see which I want to join the intersections with the streets, I will come to the intersections and I say join. So this gives me the option to create another layer that's going to join these points or these intersections with the lines that intersect with it. So I'm going to come here and say I want to join data from another layer based on a spatial location, and the other layer is a street. And for each point on my points layer, I want to have all the attributes of the other line, and my output will be saved in here and it's going to be added to my map. So if I click OK, it processed and it created another layer for me, and this layer have 4 points. And if I open the attribute table, it's going to show me the data for the street. And this tool is really good to combine data together, so you can have one location. For example, if someone came and told you for this intersections, I wanted to see, let's clear the selection here. I want to see which streets are touching this intersection. This is specific points. I want to see which streets are actually in this intersection. You do the join. So right now you have another layer that shows you that this intersection is connected to street 1. Let's remove this one and see what other options we have. We have a selection where you can select all the features in this layer, and you can also clear the selection. And the selection, we have a lot of options in the selection that we will come later. We'll come to it later. So let's see what else we have. We have the selection, we have label features, and label features will add the labels to the lines. And how you can define, like as you see here in the previous lesson in the editing, we were able to add street 1. We named this street 1, street 2, street 3. Now I can see the names labeled on the map for me. And we're gonna see in a minute how we can do this and change how the names look like the color or the size of the label when we go to the layer options and layer properties. Here you can start editing from here too, same thing as here, but if you wanted to directly start editing on this is specific street, this is an easy way to start an editing session from here. The data here, you can export the data. Let's see what kind of export we have. We can export it to another layer and save it somewhere else. So we can have a copy from it saved somewhere different from the one we are working on. And also you can save it as a layer file, and you can open the properties. So when we open the properties right now, we see here a lot of tabs. But before we take one of them, let's go to the Labels tab. And as you see here, the color is red, it's bold, and here's the details for how the label is going to look like. For example, let's come here and change it to blue or black and remove it and make it italic and say apply. You're going to see that's changed it here. So that's where you change your label, and there's so many options here that you can make it as a symbol, you can choose the font, the color, and you can really change it however you want. So here you can disable it from here, so it's not going to be visible anymore. That's one of the properties of the layer that you can define from here. So at the end of this video, I want to thank you so much for having the time to watch the video. If you are interested to learn more about ArcGIS products, please go to arcgismastery.com and you will see that we have a lot of selection for online training courses, starting by ArcGIS Desktop and another products like ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS Enterprise, and so many more. We also have coming courses that you can subscribe to and enroll right now and get a 50% discount. And we will appreciate it if you leave a comment below and let us know what exactly you need to see in this course so we include it in the course for you. And lastly, I will encourage you so much to subscribe to our monthly updates so you can stay updated with what Esri do. At the end, I wish you all the best and thank you so much for watching this video.